So I'm thinking like they should really have a Star Fox movie, right? I'm hoping they do. Did they kind of hint that in the mid credit scenes? Maybe I don't know.
They're definitely thinking about it.
They're thinking about it, and I think they might bring back the video game franchise. So I was thinking, what if we got a big A-list celebrity
Oh,
to
I think I
play
might
him
know where
instead?
you're going. I got a popcorn bucket.
Oh, you actually got it.
I got it. The Yoshi
Nice.
popcorn bucket. It's pretty sweet, dude.
That looks sweet. We had a fear that they wouldn't do justice with all these characters that they were going to introduce. But honestly, Mike, I thought they did a great job with all these characters, right? You talking about the backstory of the two characters specifically, but yeah, even Yoshi was great. It didn't feel like they just added characters to add characters.
Welcome to Hate to See It with Mike and Sid, the talk show where we bring you a new movie review each week. I'm Mike.
And I'm Luigi.
I guess that means I'm Mario.
Yeah, I was gonna be Mario, but it wouldn't make sense for you to be Mike and then me be Mario, so I switched it up.
All right. Let's go. Well, we are a small channel, and it would really help us out if you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment with your feedback. Also, we break our episodes out into chapters. You can move around with the timestamps in the description of the video. If you want to just skip ahead to our final verdict, it's very easy to do that. But we really appreciate those of you who stick around and watch our entire episodes.
So you said Smash. Is that because of Mario? That was good.
I just I figured out no, it was not because of Mario. I've just been thinking about how to change it because I don't like saying hit twice, like hit that like button, hit
Mm.
that subscribe button. I think I have heard people say smash that like button, so that's
Because
the
I
only
thought you
reason.
meant like Smash, like he goes up and smashes the.
Yeah, no, but no, it's just a coincidence.
Okay,
So how's it going, Sid?
it's going great. Let's get right into it. Let's do our snack segment.
All right. I went with the tried and true, the Coke Zero and a bucket of popcorn. But I did get some merch
Let's see it. I'm
for the
excited.
movie that we were reviewing this week, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I got a popcorn bucket.
Oh, you actually got it.
I got it. The Yoshi popcorn
Nice.
bucket. It's pretty sweet, dude.
That looks sweet.
And I got a cup. And I told my nephew I was going to give him this. So I'm going to give him the cup. It's got Mario, Yoshi, Bowser. Looks pretty cool.
That is cool.
And so I purchased this. This is not cheap. This thing is $50.
And how's the quality?
It's very high quality. Like I'm impressed with it. It's sturdy. And the paint looks all good. It seems like it's high quality. And it's surprisingly large. I don't know if that, I mean, it looks pretty big, right?
Yeah,
So
and Yoshi is big himself.
I think it's gonna go on one of my end tables in my condo. And I'm gonna definitely put something in it. I'm thinking it for the time being, I'm gonna put my Nintendo handheld consoles, like my DS, my Game Boy Advance in there, and maybe the charging cables. But I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely gonna be used to store something.
Well, actually, use it for cereal. Maybe put some milk in there. Put your cereal
No, 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 no. I want
from
to
it.
use it like as a something
And no, I'm kidding. Cool.
functional. I don't want to get it
Oh,
dirty.
take a picture later. Send it to me.
Yeah. So I'm very happy with that. And so I get in line at AMC. And the guy that calls me up is very excited because evidently they have a contest going on of who can sell the most of those Yoshi popcorn buckets.
Seriously?
Yeah. And so I helped him by purchasing one. I forget what the prize was. He told me there was a prize.
You,
Um,
you should be like, I'd buy 10 if you give me a piece of the prize.
So and then obviously he mentions that well yeah it comes with the popcorn and it comes with a soda but they don't fill those up they give you a separate which I don't like actually I think they should fill them up.
You just
I
said you wanted to keep it storage and you want it dirty with popcorn?
well I mean like I have like the original from the Super Mario Bros movie that came out 3 years ago. I have the question block tin. Did you get one of those popcorn buckets?
No.
It's a really good one, and I put it on my entertainment uh stand, and I keep like remotes in it, like video game controllers and remotes in it. But yeah, I did. They filled it up with
Ugh.
popcorn. The first time I cleaned it out. It's not that big a
Ugh.
deal. It's not that big a deal.
It is a
Um,
big deal.
so
You hate to see
yeah, I
it.
would have liked to use it like one time for popcorn.
No, I actually like this. I think
The
it's better.
problem was how was I going to hold everything?
Oh yeah, that is a problem.
So I told the guy, I gotta just go put this stuff in my car. Can I come back and get the popcorn and soda? He's like, yeah, sure, of course. So that's what I did. I had to go back out and
That's funny.
put that in my car.
Or maybe you could have bought it when you were leaving.
Um, well, I was a little concerned of stuff selling out. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to take the chance.
Sounds good.
When I walked in, these two young boys were coming out with their dad, and they each had one of
Oh,
the
really?
Yoshi. It's like, damn, that's a hundy right there.
Yep, it is.
And
It's good not to have kids.
Nintendo and Universal, they're gonna make a lot of money off the merch for this movie.
For sure. So I don't get too much into it, but I think from now on, we're going to talk about like merch as well as part of our snack segment. So this is a
Yeah,
good way to kick it off.
absolutely. I think it makes sense to talk about it in
And
the
I'll be really quick. So I go to the computer system to order food because my one of my theaters has like the kiosk where you can order. So I
hmm
go to the kiosk. I see Twizzlers. They're back on the menu. So
Oh,
I'm
that's great
excited.
news.
I get the Twizzler. I go up front. They gave me the fucking red vines.
Oh, that's BS.
That is BS. So I was like,
I
no,
mean,
no,
they're
no, no.
supposed. It's like when you are at a restaurant and you order Coke and they're like, is Pepsi okay? They're supposed to say that, right?
Exactly.
They
But
should
it's
be
a
like,
kiosk.
are,
But it's a kiosk. It updates. They obviously updated the freaking Twizzler image because it wasn't there before, and they still didn't have it. That was so bizarre. I was
no,
pissed.
I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm not 100% sure, but when we were kids, the Twizzler company was acquired by Hershey, and I think they're still owned by Hershey. So if I'm Hershey, I'm pissed off if they're substituting red vines for Twizzlers, right?
Because yeah, no, I am pissed off. But I told you earlier that I used to get Twizzlers. They got rid of them. They brought the red vines. But now I was excited because I saw it again. I was gonna order it. But either way, I got my peanut butter M&Ms.
Can't go wrong with the peanut butter M&Ms.
No, you can't.
Um, what happened to your Wario shirt, though? I saw you were wearing a Wario shirt to the movie.
Yeah, it was a great shirt. I removed it. It's gone. But let's get into our next
Was it
segment.
AI?
I will not confirm or deny.
Oh,
All right, ready, Mike? Let's
all
kick it
right.
off.
Well,
Let's
so just a real quick, we usually do our trailer talk segment at this point. You and I both discussed it and felt that there's really nothing to discuss this week, so we're just going to skip it this week.
Yeah, we're gonna skip it. We want to be quick today, but we've already wasted like over 4 minutes. So
That's
let's kick
fine.
off our 60-second setup.
All right, I'm going to do it this week. It's pretty simple. Rosalina is a princess that's introduced in this movie. She's in outer space. She's the princess of the cosmos. She's taking care of all the Lumas. They're these little, I guess, star-like characters. It's sort of similar to how Princess Peach is taking care of all the Toads. Rosalina is responsible for all the Lumas. We're introduced to the new villain in this movie, Bowser Jr., who's Bowser's son. He decides he wants to kidnap Rosalina, and he does. We find out that he's trying to build this Bowser planet that him and his father Bowser discussed making someday. And Rosalina, with her powers, she has the power to create nature. She has the power to create life. She's going to fuel this Bowser planet. So back in the Mushroom Kingdom, where we left off in the prior movie, Mario and Luigi are still there. Princess Peach and the Toads are, of course, still there. Um, uh, uh, Bowser in the previous movie, he was shrunken into a small miniature Bowser by taking a blue mini mushroom, and he is now a prisoner of the Mushroom Kingdom, living in a tiny castle. And Princess Peach, she finds out that Rosalina has been kidnapped. She goes off into the galaxy to try to rescue her. Mario and Luigi at the beginning of the movie are on their little side quest. They are introduced to Yoshi. So Yoshi becomes part of the crew, and they are also uh, responsible for taking care of the Mushroom Kingdom in Peach's absence, they are now the custodian of Bowser, who's trying to convince them that he has been rehabilitated and he can be let free. And eventually, they decide to go after Peach as well to help her on her journey to rescue Rosalina, and that is, I think, essentially the setup for the movie. How'd I do?
You did great. Under 60 seconds.
Was it? Were you timing me?
No, it was definitely over.
Was how? What do you think? It wasn't that much over.
It might have been
I
like
guess we'll see.
it could have been like 2 minutes. I think
I
close to
think
two
that should
minutes.
be a running joke that we never do it in under 60 seconds. I think that should be a running joke.
I agree, but I was hoping you wouldn't say that, and then eventually viewers could have you know,
Maybe I'll edit it out.
ton
So
of,
maybe I will actually edit it out.
sounds good. All right, good job, Mike. With you being the Mario fan, I thought it was appropriate for you to give that 60-second setup.
Hmm.
So let's move on. Let's get into our initial reactions, where we basically try to tell our viewers whether or not we like this movie and maybe give them a reason to see this movie or not see this movie.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Since I did the last segment, why don't you kick it off in this segment, Sid?
Sure. So my initial reactions, I did like the introduction of I can't even think of his name now, the green
Bowser
guy.
Jr. or
No, no,
Yoshi?
Yoshi. I like the introduction of.
Yoshi.
Yep. I enjoyed that. It was a good adventure. Definitely a lot of throwbacks. I think you can hit those throwbacks harder because you are the bigger Mario fan. I won't say I thoroughly love the movie. I had some issues with the movie, but it's definitely worth seeing, especially people our age who grew up with Mario. I would definitely recommend seeing it. It is definitely a direct sequel to the first one.
Yeah. This. Are you finished? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, I think I'm good for now. I may add some stuff later.
Yeah. So I echo a lot of what you say. But what I want to emphasize for myself is I had a big smile on my face like throughout most of this movie. It was delightful. This movie is a love letter to longtime Nintendo, specifically Mario fans, but also there's stuff for fans of other franchises, which we will certainly get into. There's not a lot of depth to the movie. The movie is definitely following a if it ain't broke, why fix it mentality. It's repeating the formula of the first movie. And I think there's an argument to be made that maybe it doesn't work as well the second time around. That being said, for me, it worked. It was a delight. I had a lot of fun with this movie.
And the other thing, good job, Mike. The other thing I would add, like you were saying, it didn't really reinvent the wheel. But sometimes with sequels that are very successful, they kind of push the envelope a little. So I was kind of hoping for that, especially with it being a bigger scale movie with the galaxy and all that stuff. I was hoping to see more different elements to this movie. So a little disappointed in that aspect.
All right, and I have a feeling you're going to elaborate on that in our next segment, which I think it is time to move on to. Hate to see it, right?
Hate to see it. That's right. One of our newer segments. So we'll both share a couple things we did not like about this movie. So let me go first. One thing I really didn't like was kind of Bowser. So, I mean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think ever in the video game history Bowser has kind of been like in the middle. He's always been the villain, right? I don't think he's ever like at some point made peace with Mario and Luigi. So I was kind of upset, and maybe it looks like you're going to correct me, but I was
Yeah.
but I was kind of upset that he went kind of baby face for a while.
So when it comes to like the mainline Mario games, you're definitely right. But a lot of the Mario RPG games actually toy with Bowser being sort of in the middle. Sometimes he's even a good guy. There's particularly there's series of Mario RPGs mostly on the handheld systems, although there was one on Switch that came out a couple of years ago. But there was one, it's a really highly regarded game called Bowser's Inside Story.
Mm.
And also Super Mario RPG. Bowser is has becomes good in that game as well. So there are games where you do team up with Bowser. So I think that's where they're getting their inspiration from with
Okay,
regard to
it
that.
makes sense, but I don't like it because I bet a lot of the kids today or the people that saw the movie didn't necessarily play those RPG games, right? So they're probably more used to seeing Bowser being the villain, and it kind of, to me, it was kind of like trying to convey a message of being like, you could be bad, but you can also change in life. I feel like they're trying to teach a lesson to kids, but I really disliked that part of the movie, even though it was a plot device, obviously,
Yeah.
because something happened later.
The only thing I would say, the only critique I would have for that, I have a little bit of a different perspective. I just felt like it wasn't always entirely clear why his motivations were changing, right? And the movie doesn't. I think that's one of the biggest flaws of the movie is the movie is just moving at such a frenetic pace that it doesn't take the time to actually set up certain things in the plot.
So
Um,
you agree with me a little bit, kind of like they
well,
could have
but
they could have done a better job of explaining why he
they could
turned.
have they could have done a better job, but I didn't inherently have a problem with it. And I actually did like some of the stuff when him and Mario and Luigi were interacting with one another.
Sure.
And he does end up coming back to Team Bad with
He does. Like I said, it was a plot device. There was a reason I could see why they did it. I just personally, I was against it.
All right, I hear you there. All right, so my first hate to see it is going to be the humor, the comedy overall. I thought throughout most of the movie, it just fell flat. I was not laughing for most of the movie. Towards the end of the movie, there were a number of moments that I actually chuckled. I laughed. One of them, it was just kind of like a physical comedy. And there are spoilers in this segment, just FYI for people who might have forgotten. Um, it's just towards the end of the movie, Yoshi takes a power up where he's like inflated like a balloon. It was just like it was just silly, but it got a laugh out of me. And there were a couple other funny jokes, but they were almost all at the end of the movie. And one of the funniest bits they actually saved for the mid-credits scene. They
Mm.
bring back this Luma character from the first movie. I think the fans are calling him nihilistic Luma because he's always talking about like death and gloom and doom and stuff like that. And he was really funny. Like he got a laugh out of me, but it's like, why is all the humor concentrated toward the end of the movie? They needed to spread it out more.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Especially when you have two pretty famous comedic actors. Even though Chris Pratt is now trying to be more serious, he started off in Parks and Rec. Obviously, Charlie Day is a big comedic actor. You
And Jack
know,
Black.
yeah, Jack Black. Hey, you got three good
Yeah,
comedians. So yeah, you're right. I expected more comedy in this.
yeah. So why don't we'll do a little snake draft here. I'll give my second hate to see
Okay.
it. My other hate to see it, which is going to be a little surprising, and I don't really hate to see it, but I'm just a little disappointed in it, is the score of the movie. Now, the score of the movie, the music, it's beautiful. And there are so many themes from various Mario games that are highlighted in the score, but they're for the most part, they're just kind of like flourishes. Like, oh, you hear like a few notes from that theme, and then it seems clear to me that the composer of this movie, who does a good job, he wanted to write his own music. So you get a little flourish from, the Super Mario Bros. 1-2 level, the underworld, and then it'll go into like the new music that he wrote for the movie. And I think what's particularly disappointing about that is the Super Mario Galaxy games 1 and 2 have some of the most beautiful music in video game history. We do get those themes, but it's not enough. Like I wanted to hear those full themes in the movie, and we don't really get that.
Well done. That was good. I was surprised you kind of said that. Not because I disagree, because
Yeah,
I know you're a big fan of the music and all that. So
yeah.
that was a good take, Mike. So another thing I disliked or I hated to see, I'm sticking kind of a plot again, was in the beginning, early on in the movie when Peach, it's Peach, right? Yeah, Princess Peach, she goes
Yeah.
off. Mario and Luigi don't really care to go after her. That was like bizarre to me. Like, I mean, the whole premise of Mario is saving the princess, right?
Hmm.
So they just like easily forget about her, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll just sit back and we'll take care of the kingdom." That again is a plot device, but that kind of surprised me, especially because he's talking about how much he loves her, and I mean he's downplaying it, but you can tell he's got a crush on her and he wants to like date her. So the fact that she gets kidnapped and she's gone, and they don't immediately go after her was kind of puzzling.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think in this movie, or in these two movies that they've made now, first of all, Mario, Luigi, and Peach, they haven't known each other for that long. And also they have really established Peach to be more of a girl boss, like capable of taking care of herself. And frankly, I mean, she trains Mario in the first movie. So I think at this point, Mario and Luigi are still more novices, and Peach is more at least portrayed as being more capable than them. Plus, she does ask them to like take care of the kingdom, like so that and that they need someone to do that. And that's actually one of my favorite parts of the movie where they introduce this overworld map that looks very much something like out of like Super Mario World or a number of Mario games. And there are like all these problems that pop up, and it looks like a level in one of those games. So Mario and Luigi go to the level, they'll like defeat a piranha plant or defeat the Hammer Bros or something, and then the flag will go up.
Yep.
So they're taking care of the Mushroom Kingdom while Peach is away.
But yeah, that part was great. Again, it was a plot device. They wanted to add all those elements, so
Yeah.
they did that. But I just didn't buy it. Again, you grow up knowing Mario is there to save the princess, and the second she's gone, like they don't even say like they don't even question it. Like, should we go save her now, or should we take care of the kingdom? They just really quickly just go back to kingdom business.
Yeah, they're definitely going for the portrayal of Peach that's more prevalent in more of the modern games than like the typical damsel in
But it
distress.
has nothing to do with Peach, though. Peach is gone, right? I mean, it's not like I get it. They're showing her as a strong character, but I still thought Mario and Luigi could have showed some like maybe we should go save her. Like they could have made a comment or something.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a fair point. I hear what you're saying.
All right, that wraps it up for Hate to See It.
All
Now let's get
right.
into what we love, Mike.
Okay. Or is it okay if I go, or do you want to go?
So first you establish a snake draft, and then you take away the snake draft.
Yeah, that's why I stopped myself. It's technically your turn. Go ahead.
It is my turn. But then wait, does that mean I go? No, no, you go next. Okay. So what did I love? I mean, I talked about this character earlier. I think the whole introduction of Yoshi was great. The way they introduced him, because the first mission that Mario and Luigi were doing was trying to go unclog what's it called? What are they unclogging?
A warp pipe?
Yeah, the pipes, they're plumbers. And then it turns out it's because Yoshi is blocking it. So they get introduced to him. He's very cute. And then you go to the whole Biggie. Was it a Biggie song? I think it was a Biggie
Oh
song
yeah,
with,
that was like maybe the only licensed music in the whole movie.
and I think Pete Diddy was in the credits, which I didn't like. But again, like the whole scene was pretty funny with Yoshi walking like kind of like a rapper, like just chilling, enjoying himself, like stealing food and enjoying the big life in the city. I thought it
Yeah,
was a well introduction. I thought the actor who played him, Childish Gambino, what's his real name?
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. I thought he crushed it as Yoshi. Great casting choice by him. So I thoroughly enjoyed Yoshi. Really strong character. It was great to have a third person with Mario and Luigi. It changed the dynamic, which I liked. It's a sequel. You don't want to do the same stuff over and over again. So in that aspect, I liked how they introduced that third wheel.
Yeah, Yoshi was great in this movie. A lot of the humor earlier on in the movie does come from Yoshi, more kind of like physical comedy, like how he uses his tongue to like eat people and stuff like and turn them
Yeah,
into
that was
eggs.
great,
It's
right?
funny. Yeah, it's great.
He puts a guy in the egg.
And they use him for some good action scenes. I mean, there's a scene where Mario and Luigi are both riding Yoshi, and he's like kind of running toward the screen, like sort of like a
Yep.
classic Indiana Jones scene. So yeah,
He was a standout. It was awesome.
Yoshi was great in this movie. Okay. My first love to see it is just going to be overall the animation in this movie, which I thought was gorgeous. And I think it's one of the most beautifully animated movies I've ever seen. And I think it is actually surpassing what Disney and Pixar is doing in a lot of ways. It's just absolutely
Wow, that's a hot
gorgeous.
take, actually.
I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. I thought it did the first movie was as well, but this I think this one it takes it to a next level. And what I particularly liked was the use of 2D animations in a number of sequences. Spoiler alert! We already gave the spoiler alert, but spoiler here: Fox McCloud from the Star Fox series is in this movie, voiced by Glenn Powell. And when he is introduced, there's like this 2D animation sequence that gives his backstory, which I thought was cool.
Phenomenal. Because it
And
looks so different than everything else.
and there are a number of scenes where they use a 2D sprite animation that looks very much like the NES and NES games, and it's animated gorgeously. There's one where Bowser Jr. is viewing Peach and Mario on like a monitor, and Mario and Peach are in like a 3D environment, dodging all these bob-ombs and bullet bills and fire. But when Bowser Jr. is monitoring him, it looks like it's a level from a Super Mario Bros. 1 game. Really cool. And then also at the very end of the movie, um, when Mario, spoiler alert, plants the flag at the top of the castle, they animate the sequence, and it looks very much like Super Mario World animated gorgeously. So I really liked the animation in this movie.
And when I said hot take, I didn't mean that the animation wasn't good. I meant as a
Yeah,
hot take that it's better than Pixar.
like I thought it was better than Hoppers. I thought the animation was
Really?
better than Hoppers,
Interesting.
and Hoppers was well animated. Yeah.
It kind of to me, it's like kind of like not AI. It just seems like I don't know. It was more non-traditional. Like they had something, they used a computer or something to make it look this good.
Well, it's all computer animated,
I
Sid.
don't know, but I think a lot of it's the drying it and then they're animating it.
Yeah.
It had like an artificial feel to me.
All right. Okay. I mean, I don't have an expertise enough in animation to know, but I really liked the look of this movie.
Good.
I
No,
thought it looks fantastic. Um, is that it? Oh yeah,
no,
that's it for me. Yeah.
you did two?
I
I
did
guess you, no, you did one, I think.
yeah, okay. I have another one.
Snake Draft.
All right. My
And then
other
I
love to
go.
see it is actually it was just like a surprise. I was surprised. I liked some of the character development in this movie. We get a backstory to Princess Peach, which we've never gotten before. It is revealed that she is sisters with Rosalina. That's not in from the games at all. That's a new
I
plot.
was going to ask you about that.
So I thought that
But
was
she had a
cool.
sister in the video games, right?
Not to my knowledge, I don't recall her ever having a
I thought
sister.
in the New Galaxy I beat like there was two of them or something. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Well, you played those games more recently than me, but well, Peach is not even really in those games. Well, she is, but it's more Rosalina in those games
No,
than
no, I thought
Peach.
Rosalina had another sister, not Peach.
No, Rosalina doesn't have a sister.
Interesting.
Yeah. Um,
I could swear
so
there was like two of them, like one. But anyway, go ahead.
yeah, there's like something like the cosmic something.
Yes.
It's not a real sister though.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, so there is someone.
but I forget exactly, but it's not a person.
Correct.
Uh, um, but yeah, they hint at Peach's background a number of times, including in the previous movie, how like she doesn't remember who her family is. And then they finally reveal it. And, she's sisters with Rosalina, and Rosalina sends her to the Mushroom Kingdom when she's a little girl to protect her. So it's like, okay, cool. We're getting a little backstory for Peach finally. I liked that. Also, I like the backstory that they gave for Bowser Jr. Like for older Nintendo fans like me, Bowser Jr. is introduced, I'm pretty sure, for the first time in Mario Sunshine. He's like the main villain throughout
Yes.
most of that game. And
One of my favorite games.
and he's Bowser's son, and we're all pissed off, like older Nintendo fans, like what happened to the Koopalings? Because Bowser already had children. They were introduced in Super Mario Bros.
Hmm.
3, and they're also in Super Mario World. It's like, why are those kids being sidelined, and why are we getting this generic looking Bowser Jr.? We didn't like him. And this is the first movie where we actually get like some backstory on him, and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of an interesting character. He's basically didn't spend a lot of time with Bowser when he was growing up. And instead of like resenting him, he just really wants to impress him. And he wants to impress him with his villainy, like by being the best supervillain ever. It's just a little bit. It's not like Citizen Kane or anything, but we get a little backstory for some of these characters, which I appreciated.
One concern we had prior to seeing this movie was this is going to be too crowded. We had a fear that they wouldn't do justice with all these characters that they were going to introduce. But honestly, Mike, I thought they did a great job with all these characters, right? You talk about the backstory of the two characters specifically, but yeah, even Yoshi was great. It didn't feel like they just added characters to add characters.
Yeah, they did a decent job. I do think
Decent. I thought they did a good job.
they did a good job. I do think the movie it's moving really fast, and they could have slowed things down and maybe decided to focus more. I think there's even more they could have done with
Yeah,
Peach.
for sure.
Yeah,
It was a short film, right? I expected it to be longer,
yeah, but
but maybe
overall, yeah, I was pleasant. Like people say this movie doesn't have a plot, and it's like, all right, the plot is not The Godfather, but there is a plot to the movie, and there is development to these characters. So like I was pleasantly surprised in that
okay.
regard.
Cool. So let me give my last love to see it. Rosalina. Again, I'd say the character, I say the word again a lot, but it's not again. But Rosalina, I thought did a really good job, especially casting Brie Larson. I thought she was phenomenal in the role with the scene she was in there. Again, not a lot of Brie. Maybe towards the end there was more, in the beginning there was more, but it was well executed. And give big shout out to Brie. She's a huge gamer, especially during this press tour. She's really bringing awareness to video games because literally, I mean, usually you have men who are big fans of games, but now seeing like a actress in Hollywood who's successful to really talk about video games, talking about how they're pushing the envelope, and there's a lot movies can learn from video games. It's really awesome to see. And she's not just saying it to say it; she actually plays a lot of video games. So
Oh,
I
I
really
mean,
like.
you could tell that she's not BSing in these interviews. Like she is a legit Nintendo super fan. I think she's been the MVP of the whole press tour.
For sure.
I'm really glad that she's on board. Yeah,
So
she's
yeah, I
great.
was pumped with that casting.
And yeah, Rosalina, become one of my favorite characters since she was introduced way back in 2007. It's hard to believe that Mario
Wow.
Galaxy came out almost 20 years ago, and that feels like a modern Mario game.
Yeah, and then you
Almost
know
20
what?
years old.
Yep. And in the beginning's action scene was great with her, but really they tied it together by having that connection to Princess Peach, which you mentioned earlier. I
Yeah,
thought that put the bow on top.
I'm
Uh,
curious how fans are going to feel about it because that's not something from the games.
I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
Now, let's stick to casting, Mike. We talked about some casting. Let's talk about casting what ifs.
All right, Sid. I'm actually pretty happy with the cast. Even Chris Pratt, who I think a lot of people were critical of, I think he does a good job in this movie, and he doesn't just sound like Chris Pratt, right? I mean, you could tell it's him, but he's doing a voice, he's doing a performance. I think it suits Mario. I think it's just fine. So I decided I wasn't going to recast anyone, but at the end credits, at the very end of the credits, there is a character that's introduced.
And stick around. If you see this movie, there's a mid scene and there's a final credit
And
scene,
the
post
credits are
credit
not
scene.
that long, so you're not going to be you're not going to be waiting around for that long. It's not like Avengers Endgame where you're sitting there for 25 minutes.
Hmm.
The character is Princess Daisy. So they're introducing another princess. And in a lot of the games, like we don't know a ton about Princess Daisy. They really started bringing her back. She was first introduced in Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. They started bringing her back in like the Mario sports games because they needed characters to fill out the roster. And a lot of times it's kind of hinted that maybe she has something going on with Luigi. She's, Peach and Mario have their thing, and Daisy and Luigi might have their thing. So I'm thinking, okay, someone who is going to play well off of Charlie Day.
Mhm.
And the actress I came up with is Catherine Hahn. So she,
Oh, okay.
so from
Yes.
Agatha All Along,
Yep, I know.
and she's a comedic actress, and she also voiced Doc Ock in the Spider-Verse movies. So she's got experience doing animated characters. I think she would be good for that role.
That's a great suggestion, Mike. From
Hmm.
kind of like from left field, right?
Yeah, a little
Um,
bit.
I thought maybe you go with a bigger name, but that's a really well thought of decision by your part. And then Luigi did hint during the movie that he's hoping to get another. He's hoping to get a significant other, right? He mentions, I forget who he mentions it to, but he's hoping to get hooked up later. Do you remember that?
Yes, you're right. Yeah, it's exactly. That's a good point. She does say, I hope she knows somebody or someone like something
Exactly.
like
So they're
that.
planting the seeds.
Yes.
They
What
can even
about?
bring his wife in real life, who's also in not Sons of Anarchy. It's Always Sunny in
I
Philadelphia.
was also thinking of her maybe, but I thought that might be just a little
Yeah,
too obvious.
but I really like your decision. So I'm gonna actually replace a character.
Okay,
Any, any guesses who I'm gonna replace?
I'll say Mario.
No. I'm replacing Star Fox.
Oh, really? I
Yes.
thought he did a good job. I thought Glenn Powell did a good job.
Yeah. I No, he did a good job. But let's face it, you would think he'd be a bigger blockbuster star, right? I mean, his last two movies that we reviewed, I don't think we disliked the movies. I mean, I think they're like middle of the road movies, right? Both of them.
Yeah,
Maybe we like the first one, which was their first movie we reviewed,
yeah,
but he's not bringing in money, which kind of surprises me, right?
yeah. That's true.
Just, I don't know why. So I'm thinking like they should really have a Star Fox movie, right? I'm hoping they do. Did they kind of hint that in the mid credit scenes? Maybe I don't know.
They're definitely thinking about it.
They're thinking about it, and I think they might bring back the video game franchise. So I was thinking, what if we got a big A-list celebrity
Oh,
to
I think I
play
might
him
know where you're
instead,
going.
and someone who's never voiced a character,
I think I might know where you're going.
Tom
I
Cruise.
was gonna say Tom Cruise. It makes sense, right? Because Glenn Powell was in Top Gun, but you want
Yes,
someone who's a bigger name. Might as well just go to Maverick himself, right?
Maverick
Tom,
himself, Tom Cruise.
I like it. I gotta say, I like it.
Especially if he was kind of younger, I feel like in this movie, but if they went with like a grizzly vet Star Fox, I think that would have been awesome, or that would be awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a great choice.
I appreciate it. Cool. That's a fun segment. I love this new
I have a
segment.
bonus. I want to just very
Sure.
quickly mention this, Sid. There's been rumors that there's going to be a Donkey Kong movie. If they do a Donkey Kong movie, I think they should make it a musical, like a Disney musical, Disney princess
Mm.
musical. I think they should introduce the teenage Pauline from Donkey Kong Bonanza, and they got to get a big name for her, Zendaya, and she can sing. and she's going to be teenage Pauline, and it's going to be a musical, and it's going to be awesome.
All right. Start writing the script, Mike.
All right.
We're
So
moving quick today. That's great.
we are moving pretty quick. I guess that brings us to the verdict.
It sure does.
Should I hit it? Lead
Yeah,
off?
you hit it off. Since you're the Mario fan, let's hear from you first.
All right, so I did have a really good time with this movie. I did have my issues with it. I think it's just it should have been funnier because the movie is at its heart. It really is a kids movie. I mean, kids I think are going to love this movie. If you are a grown-ass adult and you have no love for Nintendo, no love for Mario, like you probably shouldn't go see this movie. It's not for you. I think you probably already know that. But if you do have some affinity for Mario, for Nintendo, or if you're a super fan like I am, you're gonna have a good time with this movie. Like I said, this is not Citizen Kane, this is not The Godfather, but it is a really well animated movie. I would go into this more thinking like you're going on a ride at a theme park because I think that's what this is. It's more like a ride than it is like a traditional movie, and it's a fun one. There's a ton of Easter eggs jam packed into it. I mean, I didn't even mention it. The final confrontation, or one of the final confrontations between Mario and Luigi and Bowser takes place over a drawbridge over lava, on a drawbridge over lava. So every longtime Mario fan instantly knows how this is going to end. This is how the boss fights between Mario and at the time he was King Koopa in Mario Bros. 1. They take place on this drawbridge, and you have to jump over King Koopa and hit the axe, and then Bowser falls into the lava. And that's exactly what happens in the movie. It's awesome. And at the very end, Mario gets the cape power up from Super Mario World, which Nintendo, for some reason, almost never uses that power up anymore. And he flies to the top of the castle. That just put a huge smile on my face. So these kind of moments, if you're a Mario fan, you're going to be really happy with this movie. It hits on Mario games from Mario recently celebrated its 40th anniversary. It hits on Mario games throughout the 40 years that Mario's been around. So Mario fans from all eras are going to be delighted with this movie. So, even though it might not have a ton of depth, even though the humor might not always land, for me, this is a love to see it movie. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars.
Okay, well done. That's probably one of the more thorough verdicts you've done, Mike.
There was kind of a few things that I wanted to mention earlier in the episode that I didn't get a chance to.
Well, I'm glad you got to say it now.
How about you, Sid?
So I'm struggling with this. I don't think we give 2.7 stars, right? So it's either going to be 2.5 or 3, where there's no in between. So I'm struggling. Do I give it a 3? Do I give it 2.5? Very difficult because there were some flaws that I talked about earlier that I didn't like. I didn't like the whole Bowser angle there. That kind of disappointed me. I wanted more, Mike. Again, I don't disagree that this was an enjoyable movie as a fan of Mario, but as a sequel, I wanted them to go bigger, aim for the galaxies. I wanted to see some more surprises. That kind of was like disappointing. The last fight I thought was a little bit underwhelming, but now that you're talking about how it connected to the original Mario.
Did you pick up on that or no?
No, I didn't. So now that you mentioned it, like I say, okay, it makes sense. I wanted something different, but that was a good throwback. But I don't know if every fan would pick up on that, Mike.
And also, another just real quick, Sid, the final fight with Bowser Jr., he creates with the paintbrush, he creates this dragon character that they fight.
That's a throwback too.
That's from Mario Odyssey. There's a whole dragon world that they go to, and people were. It's a very realistic looking world, and people were talking about, hey, this is like Mario meets Game of Thrones or something. So that dragon was taken directly.
Did people really say that? They said meets Game of Thrones, or you made that up?
No. Or Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Or like Lord of the Rings or something.
Lord of the Rings better.
Yeah, that was taken from Mario Odyssey. So yeah, there were stuff throughout the movie. There's stuff like if you're a lot of this stuff, Mr. Gaiman watches in the movie.
Yes, but so they're really catering to the hardcore fans.
Yes,
right. But for me, the thing I mentioned this via text. I thought it was a little too dark for kids.
There's a lot of scary moments.
Talk about killing. There's a lot of killing talk.
There's a few, a little bit.
they're like taking the next level, like that nihilistic, whatever the thing you called it,
Nihilistic, yeah.
nihilistic. But luckily that's in the mid credits, so some kids were hopefully left. But like he was going pretty hard on that on his comments.
I thought the T-Rex was maybe a little bit scary too. For little kids. For little kids.
For little kids, yeah. But the T
Yeah.
Rex was also a throwback to the last Mario game,
Mario
honestly.
Odyssey. Yeah, I mean they're taking stuff from every Mario game.
Yeah, so if you're a really big fan, you're gonna love it, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I obviously recently played more of the Mario games. I didn't. I mean, I grew up with Mario, but I took a big gap. What's the word I'm looking for? Big gap. I had a big gap between the original Mario games and the later Mario games. So I'm not as a big of a fan as like you. So there's definitely things that you saw throughout this movie that you recognize that I missed. So I'm glad we got to do this review because you enlightened me of some cool things. So I think maybe now I'm skewed a little, Mike, because originally I was leaning more towards 2.5 stars. But after you pointed some things out, I'm liking it better, even though I shouldn't be doing that. But the more I think about it, it's a 3 star movie for me, Mike. You know, I love to see it. It wasn't a truly love to see. It wasn't you hate to see it, but you know, I love to see it. It was an enjoyable movie.
I'm glad that I was able to get you up to love to see it, Sid. I think it makes sense for you because you really have become a Mario fan. Like you said, you were a Mario fan when you were younger, and then there was a big gap, and you've come back into it in later years. So I think you do fit well within the target audience for this movie. It's really targeting children and it's targeting Mario fans. And honestly, I think, that is the strength of the movie. And it's also the weakness of the movie. The movie does not strive to be anything more than that, right? It does not strive to be a true four quadrant film that appeals to everyone. The reason it is so successful is because there's a lot of kids, right? And there's not a lot of children's movies, right? And there's a lot of Mario fans. So it's going to do really well at the box office. But there's plenty of audiences that this movie is just not going to appeal to. I mean, if they actually tried to make this a movie that could appeal to everyone, this could be like a $2 billion movie. They're content with their 1 billion. Fine. Like why wouldn't you be? And just hearing you talk about like me reminding you of stuff that maybe you missed or you didn't pick up on. Like I'm thinking of all this other stuff. Like it's like we could talk about this for a lot. We're not going to, I promise you. We could talk about this for a lot longer. Like we didn't even talk about. There's a whole section of the movie dedicated to Super Mario Brothers 2, which is one of the most forgotten Mario movies. Wart, the
Yeah, we didn't
villain,
even talk about Wart.
he has his whole world. It's like in a casino, and all the enemies, Birdo's there, Mauser's there. I forgot what the line was, but Mauser actually has a very funny section, and like the ninja enemies are there. I mean, there's every Mario fans from every era have something to eat. You're gonna eat good, whether your favorite game is Mario 2, whether your favorite Mario game is Mario 64. Mario 64 maybe gets the least love. Like some of the references to Mario 64 are really obscure. Do you remember the little monkey that steals something
Yes. Yep.
from Toad? I was
Of
trying to
course.
like I was trying to think like what's that monkey from? That monkey's from Mario 64. That's
Yeah,
the
that
little
was,
monkey that steals your hat in Mario 64.
yeah, that I knew because I played that game more recently.
Yeah, and then towards the end, the scene that I mentioned where Mario and Peach are trying to catch up to Bowser Jr., they're trying to dodge all these bob-ombs. When all these bob-ombs come out at them, they play the theme music from Bob-omb Battlefield, the first level, level 1 in Mario 64. It's like there's so many of these
So it's a
references.
nostalgia trip.
It's totally a nostalgia trip. It really is. It's like a theme park ride.
And let's
It's
be honest. Let's be honest, Mike. The Mario games were not known for having this amazing stories,
no,
right?
not at all. They have no story.
Yeah, it's not a groundbreaking thing. So maybe some of the criticism these critics had are kind of like unwarranted.
Well, I mean, I think I
This was like
think that
lifeless. It
I
wasn't.
actually think like the criticisms are warranted, but they're
No, but
preaching.
they said it was terrible to watch.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. I mean
Yeah.
you have to keep in mind the audience that the movie is intended for.
Yeah.
And I mean they're way. I mean the movie is just beautiful to look at
How
at a
about Wart?
minimum.
But Ward, I know our friend had a fan casting for him,
Oh, we did forget to mention that. He wanted to cast him as Ron Simmons.
Ron Simmons. Is he talking about the wrestler Ron Simmons? Is
Yeah,
he talking or the
damn.
that wasn't there a gym guy Ron
Well,
Simmons?
that's Richard Simmons.
Oh,
He's not
Richard
talking
Simmons.
about Richard Simmons. I don't know why. I
I don't
wish we
know
had more.
either,
I wish we had more context for that.
but
Richard
he
Simmons
loves
is
that.
bad, first of all. Um,
But what
but
you
yeah,
think of the guy who played him?
yeah, it was. Yeah, it's funny. I just watched a movie with him in it recently. The Count of Monte Cristo from
Mm,
2002.
good movie.
I had never seen it before. It is a good movie, and he's in that movie, and
Yeah,
he
he
does a
is.
good job in that movie. Luis Guzman, I think, is his name.
Yes, he's in a new
Um,
Adams Family adaptation.
yeah, Ward doesn't. He has a few lines in the movie,
Oh, he
right?
was good though. I
He's
thought,
good.
I,
Yeah, he's
I
good.
thought, I thought, I thought at first I was like, why are they casting this guy? But I thought he did a really good job. He
Yeah, the
gave,
voice fits. Yeah,
yeah, the voice definitely fit.
yeah. So I mean, there's all these references in the movie that we didn't even touch on. So yeah, I
We
had a
enjoyed it. At the end of the
I had
day,
an enjoyable time with it.
this was a good conversation, Mike. I think we gave more reasons for people to go see this movie.
Yeah,
Like if you're
and,
in the
and
fans of this movie, go see it.
yeah, like if you're watching our channel, you probably have similar interests as us, right?
Yeah, I would
There's
think
a very
so.
good chance that you're gonna like this movie.
Yeah. All right, Mike. What's next on the docket?
So next week, there's like nothing coming out. Like there's nothing worth coming out that's worth
Yeah, it's
seeing.
terrible.
Well, actually, there is that movie, The Drama, right?
Oh, which we're gonna see actually.
Which we are going to review, but we're going to review it in 2 weeks so that you can keep your AMC A-list streak going, right? So
That's right. You
you're
gotta
going to
get the
see it next
streak.
week. So in the interquel, that's a word, I believe. We're going to review a retro movie. We're going to continue our Jaws journey, and we're going to review Jaws 3, Jaws 3D, as it was originally called. And I'm looking forward to that.
So am I. Our friends were really looking forward to that. And then maybe we can do a crossover episode and do Jaws 4 to conclude our Jaws watching marathon.
I would definitely like to do that with our friends over at Throwbacks with the Technodrome. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
right. And we have some news to share later, I think, with about one of our friends from that show. So I'm looking forward to sharing that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be teasing that in the episodes to come.
Sounds good. All right, Mike, that was a good conversation.
All right, that was fun, Sid.
Till next time.
Go check out Super Mario Galaxy movie and tune in next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.